Oh man, you know what time it's for? Do you know what time it's for? Well, you know what time it is, actually. Not even for, but it's time for the show. It's time to get on with it. Shall we? Shall we get on with it? We shall. We shall. We shall. We shall. And we shall by, just starting off, look at this pretty mug, the face made, as I've been told many times, for radio. That's right. Today, we have some good stuff. I mean, we always have good stuff, right? We have good stuff. We can all agree. Good stuff, always. But today is going to be, like, really good stuff. It's going to be episode 2, not 1. 2 of Swift Bear and Laxon, entitled The Meat Field. So if you're here for the first time for episode 1 of this wonderful series written by Richard Reynolds, link up top to his stuff. If you're in the UK, go ahead and grab a comic. If you're in the United States, I'm sorry, he doesn't ship there. I found out I was going to buy one, but he doesn't ship there. So, no pressure or anything, Richard. Just saying, Richard. The market here is at least one, but hey, I understand it's probably ungodly expensive. Well, we talked a little bit more expensive than the actual comics to send them here than the comics are worth. You know what I mean? So be spending the same price, like double more, right? However, good stuff. Got to talk to Richard a little bit, which is good in that we got to talk about Swift Bear and Laxon specifically, because there's going to be a multi-part series. I think there's going to be at least 16 of these things, right? Which means we're in this one for the long haul. I'm probably not going to stream every single one of them. You're going to have to tune in to find out, to listen to an admittedly probably better version than you're going to hear here, because you're going to hear it all edited perfect, with some sound effects in there, minimalistic, but sound effects in there, and some music to bring yet another kind of element to the story, if you will, right? So it'll be better. It'll be better than what you're hearing now with all the flubs and me being unable to string words together consecutively. Is what it is. You guys like it, right? Like watching people mess up stuff. And if you do, then, oh man, you really love this. Yeah. So I got to talk to Richard for a little bit about specifically the characters and more into who Swift Bear is and who Laxon is, which we don't often get a lot of times with some of the narration. We might get a little synopsis of the characters, but most of the stuff that we read, at least that I have had to read, the interpretation of characters is done just by reading the material, right? That's all you get. That's the only context clues you get is from reading the material. So if you're going to read, a long story or a novel, you got to read the thing all the way through so you can get a feeling for each character, how they evolve, how they grow, where they go, right? In this case, wonderful, wonderful opportunity to talk to Richard and be like, hey, what's up with this? This is what I was thinking. And he's like, nah, the character is going to be more like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can kind of, incorporate that and help grow the character in that vision that he has. So I'm excited to get back into doing this one. This one might be the last one that I do. Maybe I'll do one a little bit later on in the series. We'll see. Time will tell. If you guys want more of these, live, if you will, let me know. And when they come out, I'll shoot you guys an update too. I'll probably, get on the Twitters, on the X, as it were, and let you know when it's out, where you can get it at. I know that at least a couple of these are going to be on the Other Stories podcast, theotherstories.net. So tune in there. I mean, you should tune in there anyways because they have great stuff. So why would you not want to tune into that if you're into the short story, horror story-esque stuff, and if you're a cool person, I mean, if you're not a cool person, then I guess you wouldn't be interested. Then, just ignore it, just don't even go there, because you're not cool like that. See what I did there? So yeah, okay. It's gonna be good stuff. Let me turn the coffee cup around so you can see the. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't turn it around. I don't want to get sued by Disney. Anyways, man, this is gonna be good. This is, I think it's a little bit longer than the first one on this read through. This one, it seems like it's a little bit longer, but that's good. The story has more time to breathe and evolve. I think you're gonna like this one. It has a really good semi twist to the story, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna stop talking about specifics. It's gonna be real good. More adventures of Swift Bear and Laxon. What more, could you want? What could you want? I don't know. You tell me. Quick note about scheduling. So I got to figure out my concrete schedule, what it's going to be. But essentially, I'm going to try to stream more days. I have to have the material to be able to stream, so that might cut into the schedule a little bit. Unless I pick up a whole bunch of work and we just start, going to town on it. Maybe we'll jump in and we'll just start auditioning for a whole bunch of audio dramas or something, and we'll do a whole bunch of voice acting. I don't know. Here in January, and I'll probably announce this a little bit later, the channel will change probably just a little bit, but I have exciting news attached to that. But I'm gonna cliffhang you there because I'm not ready to announce that yet. And I'm not quite sure it'll happen in January, but I'm hoping it'll happen in January. So stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you up to date. I'll let you be in the know, right? I'm not going to keep you in the dark. I'll let you know. All right? But, yeah, maybe we'll do that. And maybe we'll go down the road. If you guys want to see it, let me know. Maybe I'll show you the whole thing from start to finish, right? That'd be kind of cool, right? We'll go and we'll look at some spaces where they have auditions for different audio dramas. And we'll pick one out and we'll audition for one on the spot. We'll edit all of our audio, turn it in, and see what happens. And then maybe something really cool will happen. Like maybe we'll get the part and we can show the whole complete process from looking for the audition, doing the audition, getting the part, and, turning in the part. And then really cool, we get to hear the whole production all together when it's done, right? Maybe we'll do that. That sounds kind of fun. So maybe we'll do that. If you don't want to do that, let me know. I'll probably do it anyways, but just let me know. What do you want to see in the life of a voice actor or a narrator, right? We'll go through it. We'll do it together. Maybe we'll go through on Audible's page, ACX. So for Audible, the narrator side of it, or the author side of it, or the audio engineer side of it, whichever one you happen to be, the non-just consuming side of it, it's called ACX. That's where everything's going to go through. Normally, you're going to go through there, do auditions through there, unless you kind of do it privately, which is what I did for my first audiobook. It was just kind of a connection through some stuff I was already doing. But we went through ACX to submit to Audible, right? And have that put up there, at least the first time. So maybe we'll go through that process. I don't know. Maybe we'll pick up a really short story or a short novelette or something, and I'll show you part of that process. Because I'm sure you don't want a stream of 10 hours of me narrating. I mean, maybe you do, but I doubt it. That's a marathon run right there. That's for sure. Maybe later on, if we ever get this takes off somehow and we do a charity stream or something, maybe we'll do a marathon like that where we just do a whole audiobook all at once, just until we get it done. That sounds crazy, terrifying, and a bit like torture. Yeah, a bit like torture. Oh, probably not gonna do that. But you never know. We'll keep our options open, right? And then maybe we'll do some stuff for fun, right? We'll just do some narration stuff for fun. That's not a job. Nobody's paying us. It's not really for anything, but we'll practice narrating, and we can talk about different techniques and things like that. I definitely think, though, I want to do an audio drama with you guys. We'll definitely do that idea, and I have some techniques that will help you guys out if you're looking to do that sort of thing. Back to the schedule, because I digressed a little bit. The way it's gonna work, I think, is we're gonna do 2 nights, maybe in a row, 2 nights off. Then 3 nights in a row, 3 nights off, and we'll rinse and repeat. Okay? Maybe we'll do that. That'll be our kind of our window. And maybe I'll just kind of template schedule that into the schedule so you kind of know. 6:30-ish p.m. Pacific time seems to be a time that I can always grab for free, it seems like. So we'll plan on doing that and go from there. Some nights I might not have material to go through, so there might not be a stream for you guys, but I'll try to let you guys know on the X and the Twitters and the social medias and the stuffs. Okay. So we'll go from there. All right. How about right now we switch over to the desktop view and we just start going into this thing and getting it done and recording it. How's that sound? Sounds good to me. Let's do it, they said. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it for sure. Let's do... Oh. That's embarrassing. Didn't mean to leave that up there. Anyways, going into it, we already have our Reaper, our DAW, our digital audio workstation of choice, set up and ready to go. Just quick review, in case you weren't here last time. We went up and we started a new track by right-clicking and hitting new track. We came in here and we told it what track we want it to actually record to, right? So we said... depending on your audio interface, this is going to be different for you, but I'm going to record to the right microphone, which is all the way in the booth over there. And then I'm going to turn off the input monitor because I don't want to hear myself because there will be a slight delay. And try that once. Impossible to talk. Plus, you'll get a little bit of bleed through. Even though these are closed back, you're going to get a little bit of bleed through and the microphone will pick that up. You don't want that. So, another reason, right? Also, for Reaper specifically, we have to come up here to, because we use punch and roll, which highly recommend to you. You can do the whole click thing, but editing is a nightmare. I like to submit clean files to the editor. Some editors don't mind, and that's what they request. Just send them everything, even with your mistakes. They'll edit it. They'll take care of it. Great. Do that. If that's what you want to do, do it. Nothing wrong with that. However, I like to do it a little differently. So if I'm going to do punch and roll to kind of make it easier on myself for editing, I got to switch it to trim existing items behind new recording or tape mode. And that'll allow us when we stop and we go back to record, it doesn't create a comp because we're not doing music here. We don't want that, right? We want basically it to go, okay, you're going to start recording here and resume. Cool. I'm just going to trim it and start recording over the top. That's what I want every time. I don't want a comp and to choose which take because I already know the newest one's going to be the best one, right? Otherwise, I'll keep doing it until it is the best one. So, there you go. Father Zog, what's up, man? Nice to see it. I've been wondering where you were, dude. I was about to call the fire department. I was about to call the poke lice. I was going to call the mayor. And then I was going to call the governor. And it wasn't going to be nice what I called him. But I was going to call him anyways. Yeah, man. Where you been? Been looking forward to my Tarkov streams. Because I have to live vicariously through you because I suck. Okay? I did play a little bit of Tarkov today, so you know. Howdy, Father Zog. Howdy. We're gonna get into this. I want an answer though. Where you been, boy? Where you been? We're gonna switch over to the booth though. And we're gonna start this Swift Bear and Laxon. And I don't know if you were here for the first one, Father Zog, but this series is fantastic. I'll let you guys know when the actual episodes are up. You know, fully edited music, all that kind of crap. But these are like horror shorts in the Wild West, kind of, where Swift Bear has these powers and visions to see monsters, and Laxon is just, well, he's kind of the sidekick in this, a reverse Lone Ranger, if you will, in the Wild West, where the Native American Swift Bear here is the all-powerful, and Laxon is the sidekick, but it's done from the point of view from Laxon. And he's a bit of a special individual, which you'll gather here real quick as we start to read this. But it's fun though. And the reading is challenging because the dialogue is right in there. You'll see as we get into it. No, anything, just been working a little extra lately. Oh, okay. Hey, fair enough, man. I know how that is. I just got over at work out of a huge audit, and I was working all kinds of overtime. And, streaming at the end, that wouldn't happen. Because, yeah, I'd done be tired, and that ain't gonna work. So I get you, man. I feel for you. Yeah. Yeah, feck audits for sure. Fucking audits. Anyways, let's jump over into the booth. Before we do that, let's go ahead, stop the music because we don't want the music over the top of this. They're gonna add music later, and I don't think instrumental retro would fit with Wild West. But hey, you never know. Whatever. To the booth. In the booth. I gotta go to the booth. Gotta go to the booth. Mouse, get out of my way. Because I want to put my water down. And I'm going to pull up chat here so I can see it. Unless you're on YouTube. And fuck you. I'm just kidding. I can't say it. Not really. I would love to see it. I just got to figure that out. I heard you can do like restream.io to combine your chats, but it looks like you might need a subscription. And I don't know. I didn't have time to mess with that. That's for sure today. But I'll try to do that. So if you guys are on YouTube and Twitch, I can see. But you like that sound effect? Yeah, that's right. Little twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle. What movie is that from? Who's that from? Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle. I'll give you a hint. Give you a hint here in a second. I'll give you a second. See if you can come up with it. I'll give you a hint. If you can't come up with it. The character was talking to the rock. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle. The rock was about to kick his ass. All right. Same actor was in Wedding Crashers. Great movie. Got it yet? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have it, but extra points if you do. Extra points if you do. Let me test this chat real quick. Make sure this is actually working. Chat test. Okay, it looks like it's working. Yep, okay, there it goes. All right. Narration. Mother suckers. Here we go. All right. All right. Swift Bear and Laxon, The Meat Field by Richard Reynolds. Like I was saying, if you're in the UK and you want to pick up some comic books, check out the link that should be there above, and you can grab some there for yourself. Why did I touch it? Why did I touch it? No. What did I do? Okay, there we go. Oh, mute. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what I did or what I touched, but anyways. Okay. Here we go. Let's record this, shall we? Ah, crap. I forgot to turn off my air conditioning system. I can see it in the sound. So give me a second. That, and my dog is barking, so we would have had to restart anyways. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a professional. Consummate professional. All right, start over. Right as I go to read, the dog barks again. I'm going to go hush the dog up real quick. I'll be right back. I promise. I'll be right back. It'll be quick. It'll be quick. I promise we'll start this. I promise. I promise. El Pucciarino. She is a Great Dane Weimaraner, which means, long story short, She is a 110 pounds of pain in my ass. Because she barks when a squirrel farts, and it's loud, and it's not really conducive to recording. You know what I mean? So, fucking squirrel farts. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. The 800th time. No. No. Why is it not restarting? Oh, it is. They called him Swift Bear. His own people turned their back on him, account of his being some sort of freak of nature. Faster than any horse born, and the strongest sumbitch I ever seen. Prone to visions from his heathen bear god, putting him on track of unnatural abominations, meaning nothing but harm. Don't really like that. I should have strung it together. Let's go back and record that again. All right. Where are we at here? Prone to visions. Okay. Freak of nature. Faster than any horse born, and the strongest sumbitch I ever seen. Prone to visions of his heathen bear god, putting him on track of unnatural abominations, meaning nothing but harm. I'm Mark Laxon, previous no good cur, but seeking redemption. I'd partnered with Swift Bear to roam the land and hunt creatures from Satan's own asshole. This here story's from our early association. We'd already killed us a couple of bad bastards, but nothing could have prepared us for this. A vision told Bear to head north, so north we headed, into the cold. Like lost track of where I was for a second. I should scroll up as I go. There we go. Oh, and one quick tip, because I always forget it. Turn off Snap. So then you can click in between stuff and things and stuff. All right, here we go. Prepared us for this. A vision told Bear to head north, so north we headed, into the cold in our usual style, Bear running and me riding my mighty stallion, Thunder. After 3 days of hard riding in silence, I was close to losing my mind. So I started regaling him with some of my more interesting anecdotes. Afore I started killing monsters and devils and such, strangest I ever threw down with was Daddy Joe. It was actually Dandy Joe. Started killing monsters and devils and such. Strangest I ever threw down with was Dandy Joe, I yelled. Oh, I see. Hold on. I'm retarded. He was actually regaling right now. Thought it started in a second. It's been about a day or so since I've read this, so it's probably better to do, I don't know, maybe technique only. Do these rereads like right before you go. That way it's like fresh in your mind. After 3 days of hard riding in silence, I was close to losing my mind. So I started regaling him with some of my more interesting anecdotes. All right. Right here is the interesting anecdote he was referring to. So I started regaling him with some of my more interesting anecdotes. Before I started killing monsters and devils and such, strangest I ever threw down with was Dandy Joe, I yelled. Some asshole prone to taking liberties at cards. One time, I called him out for cheating, and meek as he was, expecting I'm to fold like clothes, but the sumbitch stood, put his hand down his britches, and looked me in the eyes and forced out a turd. Bear stopped running, so I halted Thunder. Then he done pointed that turd at me and told me to make my move. Being a man of limitations that there was, the kind of plumb crazy I won't mess with, less'n I wind up eating shit. I done forfeited that game. Bear was looking sort of revulsed. What? That's entertaining. Bear cut in. You talk too much. Look, listen, smell. I took a deep breath. Something was off. What is that? Smells kind of like a filthy coochie or something. Death, Bear says, and pointed up. No birds, no sound but wind. Then he's off again, faster than ever, and soon enough we gets to a town named Purity. That rancid stink was stronger hereabouts. Purity seemed to be a ghost town, but Bear, he could hear better than most. See, no one... I fucked that up a little bit. Goddamn Dandy Joe, meek bastard. Damn right. Damn right. See what I mean about Laxon? He's a special individual that makes the telling of this quite interesting. Interesting to read too. Sometimes I have to like pause and be like, the fuck does that say? But anyways, back to this. Oh, and I hit spacebar on the thing, so it shot down the page. Also another thing I tend to do a lot. Technique only. Don't do that. All right, here we go. Okay, rancid stink right there. Okay. Purity seemed to be a ghost town, but Bear, he could see better than most. See? So didn't have... Oh, okay. So he was saying it's like, okay. But Bear, he could hear better than most, see? All right. So didn't have no trouble finding the people. All right. So it was like a... Gotcha. I misunderstood. I misunderstood. But we'll do it again, and nobody will know how much I can't read. All right. Like my song? Made it up myself. But Bear, he could hear better than most. Oh, crap. Back. Back, I tell you. All right, here we go. Rancid stink was stronger hereabouts. Purity seemed to be a ghost town. But Bear, he could hear better than most, see? So didn't have no trouble finding the people. He tried the doors of the little chapel, but found 'em locked. So he just done yanked 'em open, whereon the 20 or so folks inside screamed like all hell, looking half mad with fright. Whoa! I called out. We're here to help. Maybe. This here Swift Bear, I'm Laxon, and dealing with evil business is our purview. So y'all need to tell us where all the people's at. We're all that's left, mister, someone hollered. Close the door, it's coming back, shouted another. Ain't no doors keeping it out. All right, so this one is the old boy. So I'm going to do a little bit different voice because I think he has like a couple of character lines, if I remember right. And he's going to talk back and forth with Laxon. So giving him something that's distinct and memorable is probably what you want to do here, right? Just to kind of pull him out from the rest of the crowd. Spoiler, he fucking dies. So we don't have to be too distinct about it, but distinct enough to pull him out, right? Maybe give the listeners hope that maybe he does live. He fucking dead. Okay. Another? All right, here we go. Okay. Shit, I hit spacebar again, and I scrolled down. Okay. Purity stink. There we go. Whoa. There we go. All that's left, mister. Close the doors, it's coming back. There we go. An old boy piped up. There we go. That's where we want to be. Okay. That's left, mister, someone hollered. Close the door, it's coming back, shouted another. Ain't no doors keeping it out. An old boy. Let's try it again. Ain't no doors keeping it out. Oh, shit, I don't like that anyways. Let's go back and just redo that whole thing. Not only is he old, he sounds half special. Which fits, because I'm special. Right. In the head. That's left, mister, someone hollered. Close the door! It's coming back! Shouted another. Ain't no doors keeping it out. An old boy piped up. We're goners. All right, I shouted over the clamor. Calm your high-strung asses down, one at a time. The preacher stepped forward, scared as the rest. It's the devil himself, sir. He brings death of all life. Christ alive, I interrupted, a mite frustrated. Can someone just tell us the facts the thing? Oh, I see. Facts other thing. Gotcha. Only half special. Thank you. And that's why I allow you to stay in the channel. All right. Okay. Here? Dang. Right there. Ba 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 ba. Can someone? All right. Can someone? I don't know. Can they? He brings death of all life. Christ alive, I interrupted, a mite frustrated. Okay, we're going to have to go back on that because I scrolled down again for some reason. He brings death of all life. Christ alive, I interrupted, a mite frustrated. Can someone just tell us the facts of the thing? Finally, a lady stepped from the huddle and started talking sense. Things have been strange for a while. First, the animals went. Hunters were coming home talking about how the woods and prairies was hunted out. Big game, little critters, gone. And then maybe a month ago, word came down that Lago, a town up north, had cleared out. Everyone gone without a word. Then the same thing happened in Salvation, west of here. And they were no rinky-dink towns. Sounds a little too close to Laxon, and I used a different voice. Hey, sounds a little... Yeah, I think that's kind of what I went with, right? Ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba. Come on, click. And they were... And they were... Yep, okay. It's right there. These guys are a little panicked, so it has to get breathy. Without a word. Then the same thing happened in Salvation, west of here. And they were no rinky-dink towns. Without a word. Then the same thing happened in Salvation, west of here. And they were no rinky-dink towns. The old boy chimed in. They was big towns, lots of folks. We're all spearman towns. The mining concern, I questioned. That's a big outfit, ain't it? Hundreds of miners? Thousands, the old boy corrected. And every camp empty. No more miners. No more business. And then there was that smell, the lady says. Then all the livestock from the farms disappeared. Then finally, a few days back, it showed up in town. The devil, the preacher crowed. Some sort of beast. I forgot to silence my watch, 'cause I'm an idiot. Boop, boop. And I have to go back because it beeped. Now all I need is somebody to mow their fucking lawn. Some sort of beast. You hear that? You didn't know in the Wild West that they had eye watches, huh? Now you do. In my story, they do. All right. The devil, the preacher crowed. The preacher crowed. Aliens are coming. Yeah, they are. Oh, I should have done that voice for the old dude. The aliens are coming. Ah! Missed opportunity. I'm not going back now. You ever heard of Johnson's Lithia liver pills? Cures biliousness. You know what biliousness is? I don't either, but it cures it. All right, here we go. Where are we at? Some sort of beast. There we go. It showed up in town. The devil, the preacher crowed. Some sort of beast, the lady continued, like nothing I can describe, but it's twice as big as any man, and it can fly. Snatches, folks, the old boy added, flies on out, then, a while later, comes back for more. Ceaseless. And the ones that try to run, the preacher says, hysterical like, he gets them first. And boom! The side of the fucking chapel exploded, and that beast stepped in bold as shit. The lady weren't fooling. Ain't never seen its like. Tall with two powerful and a lift. Okay, let's go back. Okay, don't go back. That's fine. I'm gonna go back. The lady weren't fooling. I ain't never seen its like. Tall. Okay, we're gonna go from there. Tall. I've never seen its like. All right, there we go. And that beast stepped in bold as shit. The lady weren't fooling. I ain't never seen its like. Tall with two powerful three-jointed legs. It didn't have no arms but a bunch of grabbers snaking out from its body, and two huge folded wings on its back. No face neither. Its whole head puckered inward like a giant asshole. The people scrambled and screamed, but Swiftbear already done drawn is what I wanted to say, but that's not what's written. Already drawn's his trusty bone knives. Okay, got it. Ba-ba. On its back. No face neither. Its whole head puckered inward like a giant asshole. The people scrambled and screamed, but Swiftbear already drawn his trusty bone knives and was on the beast in a flash, burying its way in and cutting them grabbers. It wasn't having it, though. Its puckered asshole face blossom opened, and it screeched a screech that hit you direct to the mind. Then the sumbitch bucked, kicking Bear clear across the chapel. I pulled my dragoons, but them panicking folk kept getting in my line of fire. All right, I heard some couple slams and stuff over here. I don't know if that recorded, so I'm going to go back and see. There's a bathroom like right next to my room, so every time they like close the door, sometimes it picks it up. Then the sumbitch bucked, kicking Bear clear across the chapel. I pulled my dragoons, but them panicking folk kept getting in my line of fire. No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Did you? I didn't. All right. All right. Getting up in my line of fire. All right. Tough to believe, big as it was. He was faster than Bear. All right. Tough to believe indeed. How are you liking the story so far? Pretty good? Not too bad. Not too bad. I like this one better than the first one. I think the characters have grown a little bit, and we get more flavor from Laxon, too. Kind of Grendel-esque. Grendel. Not sure familiar with that one. Is that a movie or something? Movie, book? That old folklore. Grendel. With the Vikings? Apparently I missed that one. I have no idea what that is. Or if I do, I'm just drawing a massive blank. The Vikings. Grendel. Not sure. I'll have to look that up after the after the. I do like this one. Yeah, this one's pretty good. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I like this one better than the first one, like I said. But all right, where are we at? And stuff gets pretty fucking crazy in this one, which is cool. Which is cool. It's not just your normal monster, which I think is kind of where I was talking to the author earlier today or last week, and I think that's kind of where the story's going. So Wild West, think, Swift Bears being almost Sherlock Holmes-ish, or at least the story is kind of going more in that direction towards, them being multifaceted. Like, just because they encounter a monster, they're not going to be able to kill it right away. Something's going to make it more difficult. And it's about to get way more difficult. But let's keep going here. Where are we at here? I think I fucked this line up, right? Them panicking folk kept getting in my line of fire. No, I didn't fuck it up. I just stopped. Okay. All right. My line of fire. Okay, there we go. Tough to believe. There we go. I pulled my dragoons, but them panicking folk kept getting in my line of fire. Tough to believe, big as it was, it moved faster than bear, snatching up 5 or 6 folks and its grabbers and headed out, its legs driving. Idiot. I can't read. I read for a living. Big as it was, it moved faster than bear, snatching up 5 or 6 folks and its grabbers and headed out, its legs driving like pistons, the extra weight nutting to it as it hit a sprint. Bear was up and giving chase as I mounted Thunder. Seemed like he might have caught up to him, too, but the beast leapt high, and its wings unfolded to an almighty span, beating hard and carrying it aloft even faster than it had been on foot. Bear didn't stop, though, and by now I was riding Thunder flat out. We weren't gonna let this ugly butt-fuck get away with it, no sir. After riding hard, like, switch those words after hard riding, Whatever. Where the hell is it? Tough to believe, big as it was. There we go. After a while, hard riding. Hard. Okay. Come with me. And why does it? Oh! Try to drag it over and it just snaps back. It's gonna make me crazy. Riding Thunder flat out. We weren't gonna let this ugly butt-fuck get away with it, no sir. After a while of hard riding, it pulled ahead and out of sight, but it was traveling as the crow flies, so we held our direction and powered forward. The longer we rode, the worse that fetid smell got. It was all I could do not to quit and lose my lunch. Maybe 2 hours into the chase, Bear spotted something strange on the horizon. Jagged hills that curved round into the distance. Maybe 2 hours into the chase, Bear spotted something strange on the horizon. Jagged hills that curved round into the distance, but you couldn't just tell that they weren't natural. When Bear could make out what they was, it stopped him dead in his tracks. The look on his face that I'd loosen your bowels. Then he was off before I could say a word. We were near the top of him before recognition hit me. This hill, and all the ones that rolled off into the distance, was piles of bone, skins, pelts, and all kinds of offal. God damn, boy, I said as I tied a gag round my face to hold the stank back some. This thing, it's Bear talking. He doesn't talk much, but when he does not sound like Laxon. Let's try that again. Damn, boy, I said as I tied a gag round my face to hold the stank back some. This thing I have never dreamed of," Bear said, seeming kinda scared. "We fight creatures and men taken by dark spirits. This thing, I think, is not of our world." "Well, it don't matter what it is, friend. It needs stopping." And then, for the first time in our association, I took the lead, Bear close on my heels as we skirted round a hill of bones. What we found on the other side was worse. It were meat, piled so high and wide and stretching into the far distance like a damn cornfield, putrefying, stinking, goddamn meat. And atop of the nearest rise was the beast. Them folk it took was long dead. We could only see but one of 'em left. The beast was focused on its work. It stripped off the poor feller's skin like it weren't even attached, and then it pulled all the meat from the bones, careful like. It took the waste to the bone hills afore returning to its fresh meat. He was arranging it just so while a bladder filled on the back of its head. Then its asshole face opened and spewed out a thick muck that looked to be fusing the new meat to the rest, maybe preserving it some too. I seen about all I could take, and fool I am, pulled and shot, but only grazed its wings. It stood tall on its meat heap and screeched something awful. Bear took out its knives, but the beast didn't make a move. It started to slough off its own skin, which suddenly seemed ill-fitting. Its grabbers, legs, then back, all the skin came off, the wings entirely. Then the sumbitch just laid down, still for a second. Then a burst of thick murk geysered from its asshole mouth, covering itself, binding all its meaty collection, leaving it deathly still. I don't like the way I said muck as it's been rolling around in my head. I'm going to go back and just redo it from there. The thick murk. See that? Thick murk. Murk. The sumbitch just laid down, still for a second. Then a burst of thick muck geysered from its asshole mouth, covering itself and binding it to its meaty collection, leaving it deathly still. "Well, shit," I finally said. "Guess it finished its work. Sure do feel bad we couldn't save them folks." Bear shook his head, grave as a weeping Johnson. He knew there was more coming, and worse. It didn't take long to happen, neither. And as slow as I am, sometimes it took me a while to understand what was happening. Too much pausing. It's like a struggle to go back and forth between adding flavor, slowing it down, giving him kind of that thing without doing it too much, you know? I don't want to make him sound too, like, special. Like, he's not. I mean, he's definitely slower than Bear, but... And as slow as I am... There we go. I think that's good. Knew there was more coming, and worse. It didn't take long to happen, neither. And as slow as I am sometimes, took me a while to understand what was happening. The vast, reeking meat field was moving. Damn my eyes if it weren't lifting up. A tidal waves of putridness rising into the sky, leaving a blood-sludge swamp where it laid. Huge segments pulled away from its sides, pushed themselves groundward. And that's when I knew. They was fucking arms. The beast had made itself a giant homunculus, and it was bracing itself to stand up. Slowly getting its disgusting, festering legs under itself, rising up, higher and higher. I've been to cities out east and seen some tall buildings, but they was midgets next to this thing. And Christ, all that movement released worse stink, a wave which put me out my slack jaw's stupefaction. I yanked down my mask to vomit like a champ. Then I shook Bear out of his own stupefaction. What the bastard shit does it want, Bear? And how the goddamn hell are we supposed to fight it? It wants death and devastation, said Bear, and then stopped to think. You shoot the bear's head. Don't miss this time. The beast, I says. The beast's at the top. I can't make that shot, you ignorant heathen. There weren't no time for arguing, though. The giant took its first step, testing its balance. When the bulk of its leg crashed down to the ground, the earth quaked something fierce, and the looser bits of meat showered down. Me and Bear and Thunder raced off to get a better vantage, whereupon I took my rifle from Thunder's side, located the beast way up on the meat. I thought I was going to say meat, but it said that mesa meat. It's so hard to like read ahead on some of this stuff, but it makes it really, really, really fun, though. It's actually like a lot of fun to read, but I'm enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it too. Whereupon I took my rifle from Thunder's side, located. I think I'll just take off where located is. Okay. Me and Bear and Thunder raced off to get a better vantage, whereupon I took my rifle from Thunder's side, located the beast way up in that mess of meat, and fired. Best shot I ever did make. Got it square in its asshole face. For all the good it done. The homunculus lifted its enormous leg, and we ran like hell, just knowing it was fixing to stomp us to mush. It missed us, but the impact sent out shock waves that caused them bone hills to spill on down. "Ah, Jesus, Bear!" I shouted over the crashing. "What now?" "The beast's spirit is the giant's spirit now. We must kill the spirit. And how you propose, not suppose." Sometimes he's abnormally eloquent. More eloquent than I tend to be. "We must kill the spirit." With a crashing, "What now?" "The beast's spirit is the giant's spirit now. We must kill the spirit." "And how you propose we do that, huh?" "You distract it. I climb." I had more questions and objections, but Bear was already running up at its leg. He jumped up and plunged his knives into the gray meat, using them as climbing instruments, making his way up, one stab at a time. That giant didn't like it none, and stamped its leg again. Bear held fast and got out the way. It was about time I did my part. Getting Thunder some ways in front of it, I emptied my rifle into the beast up top. It tried swinging a kick at me, but missed, only by a prick hair, mind you. Bear was making good time, nearly halfway up already, climbing like a gecko despite the meat being slick with the thickened blood and rot slime. I circled Thunder back, pulled my Colts, and slowly emptied him into the beast's husk, too, near getting stomped 3 more times. Next I seen, Bear was at the top, cutting away chunks at the beast. 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 We're almost to the exciting conclusion. Do they kill the beast or do they succumb? Don't read ahead. Hydrate. All right. Where are we at? Beast's husk to near getting stomped 3 more times. I've seen bears at the top, cutting chunks at the beast. That's where I was. It's husk, too, near getting stomped 3 more times. Next I seen, Bear was at the top, cutting away chunks of the beast. Then, it's husk, too, near getting stomped 3 more times. Next I seen, Bear was at the top, cutting away chunks of the beast. Then, the meat behind it. Some bitch was tunneling in, pushing himself into that flesh. I can't barely imagine how grim it was in there. I gagged just watching him. The homunculus must have knew the score, 'cause it was falling. Flailing. Grim it was in there. I gagged just watching him. The homunculus must have knew the score, 'cause it was flailing wild until it weren't. It stopped dead, then started to topple backwards as Bear came out the tunnel, holding something. As the giant fell back, Bear was running and skidding down it, dragging a blade behind to control his descent. He jumped clear as it crashed down, sending out a hails of fleshy debris and deafening wet thud. I fucked that up somehow. That didn't sound right. I missed a couple words in there. Hydrate time. Hydrate time. As the giant fell back, Bear was running and skidding down it, dragging a blade behind to control his descent. He jumped clear as it crashed down, sending out a hails of fleshy debris and a deafening wet thud. He hit the ground running, and he hit the ground? Hit the ground. Deafening wet thud. He jumped clear as it crashed down, sending out a hails of fleshy debris and a deafening wet thud. He hit the ground running, and I was close behind as an avalanche of meat barreled towards us, aiming to bury us deep in its foulness. We didn't stop till we was far away. Took a time before I could make eyes from vast ruination, but when I did, I got a good look at what Bear had pulled from that giant. It looked like a maggot, but was hand-sized and had thousands of wispy strands hanging from it. Stink of death gonna be in these lands for a lifetime, is my estimation, I remarked. What is that thing, anyways? This is the beast's spirit, Bear answered. Spirit from a bad place. These are our enemies. They turn men to creatures and creatures to monsters. Here and on other worlds. Shit, son, I said. Sometimes I can't hardly understand you. That thing ain't no spirit. Come on, let's get you back into... Can't talk. Won't talk. Get it. All right. Shit, son, I said. Sometimes I can't hardly understand you. That thing ain't no spirit. Come on, let's get you back to yon town. Ain't no son of a bitch alive more. Nope. Improper inflection, 'cause I can't read a sentence. Said, sometimes I can't hardly understand you. That thing ain't no spirit. Come on, let's get you back to yon town. Ain't no son bitch alive and more powerful in need of a bath. Finished, as painful as it was. Yeah, you like my little beatbox? I bet you didn't know I had that skill. All right, meet you back at the desk, because it's hot in here. I'm not taking off my clothes. So take off all your clothes. So hot. I'm gonna take my clothes off. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna take my clothes off. You're welcome. So yeah, that was it. To the desk, indeed. And we're gonna save the project so we don't lose the project, because that would suck. Record the whole thing and then lose it. I usually save in the middle there, but I completely forgot. But the good thing is about Reaper, it does take automatic backups of the stuff that you're working on. So if it does crash, hopefully you'll have, you only lose like maybe a couple of minutes, which can be a lot, when you're narrating stuff. So if you're going to do long form, like an audiobook, get in the habit of saving. So I think I used to use Adobe Audition when its punch and roll was a little better, and I lost, I don't know, like 3 or 4 chapters once. It makes you want to cry, because that's just hours gone, nothing you can do. And then they changed Adobe Audition, then I changed this because the punch and roll sucks, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this story. Like I said before, I'll let you guys know exactly when this comes out on the other stories. And when I think what they're going to do is release these maybe one at a time, maybe at least the first season. And then I think the plan is, and I'll have to get back to them, of maybe doing like a whole bunch of them in one shot, kind of for the rest of the series and releasing them. But I don't know what the release schedule is going to be. So I'll have to get with the guys to see what that's going to be. I'll let you guys know when that comes out so you can hear them in the much better version where there's not a whole bunch of mess ups and it's all together and it has music and it sounds good and stuff. So what we're going to do is render this guy out. I'll go through editing here just a little bit. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I don't want you to have to sit through that whole pain as well. But I'll show you a little bit of that in Adobe Audition again, and then we'll say toodaloo, as it were. So we're going to render this out. I'm not going to put any post effects on it this time. Last time I did, but I'm going to do that in Adobe Audition so I can kind of show you that from start to finish. So there we are. I'm going to open up the folder actually over here or here. Where did it go? Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay. Then we're going to open up Adobe Audition, close this bad boy out. Yes, go ahead and save. Pull this off to the side as well. And you definitely want to keep your copy open as you go through and do these, just in case you need to look at it and reference it for timing between your paragraphs, or, there's always like your ear that'll go into it and you'll kind of hear and know the natural timing of it. It'll sound good, but you'll definitely want more space between paragraphs, right? It's just naturally occurring. We're used to hearing that because that's how all audiobooks are pretty much narrated. Give a little bit of space in between paragraphs. So if you don't do it and you rush them together, people might not know what is wrong, but they'll know something's wrong, right? So don't do that, right? It's kind of like removing every single breath noise. Don't do that, because then you'll have people listening going, holding their breath. Don't do it. Don't do it. I harp on that a lot, but it's important, and I hear it a lot, and it irritates me. I don't like holding my breath because I'm fat and I breathe hard anyways. All right. Let's open. Actually, I'm just going to do this. The meat field. Sounds like I don't know. It sounds like a documentary or a series or something, doesn't it? The meat field. This Saturday, 9 p.m. on ABC. I don't know. I got nothing. Just kind of sounded that way to me. Just to me. I forgot to change it to mono. So we'll do that real quick. Audio narration is in mono, not stereo. You'll see a little bit of spikes in here, and you'll notice when we rendered it out in Reaper, it didn't give you those red lines saying that it peaked, which means this is giving us a little bit of digital headroom, which is great, meaning it hasn't peaked and cut off this particular sound wave. So we'll go ahead and move that down with the rest of it. What was this anyways? Was it me yelling probably? Damn, boy. Yep. It usually is. Damn, boy. There you go. All right. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, before I touch the majority of a file, I like to go through and just really quickly, and this is why I highly recommend a really good plugin for voice denoising, and I cannot recommend Isotope's RX. The newest flavor of it is 10. I think you can get RX in Isotope's Elements, but like I've said in the past, there's a reason that Hollywood uses this plugin to kind of take noise out of files and really manipulate and restore audio, because it's pretty much the best that I've ever used. Even Audition's own tools, as strong as they are not as good as RX. It simply, hands down, is the best. I've used a couple of other products, and they don't even come close to this. Plus, it has other features in there, like if you mess up like a B or a P, that's why you'll see like pop filters on microphones, right? Where I have two of them on here because I don't know, you don't need to. I'm just special, I guess. But the sock around it is a pop filter. Then there's a disc in front of this particular one, which is also a pop filter. And that helps you get rid of plosives. Plosives are the B's and P's that, like that noise in your mic, sorry, is you don't want to hear that, right? One, it's distracting, brings you out of the story a little bit. Two, it's harsh and doesn't sound good, right? If you have your audio up and you're listening to the story and you're enjoying it, all of a sudden, like takes you out of it, and the blood trickles down. You don't want that, right? That's not a good listening experience. So there's a whole bunch of ways to mitigate a lot of that. What'll help you is a pop filter, but also speaking at the correct angle. That's why you'll see me, even when I'm talking to you, I'm not talking directly into the mic because it's going to pick up more of those plosives, right? I'm kind of talking at an angle across it, so the wind's not going directly into it. In the booth, you'll notice I have a microphone pointing like this. That's because that is a shotgun microphone. This is a cardioid microphone, so its pattern is different than a shotgun. The shotgun will only pick up directly in front of it and exactly 180 degrees behind it to the top of it, right? So those are the areas that you need to pay attention to when you're worrying about sound. This one, I have to kind of pay attention to sound all the way through here and all the way through here in the back of it. It looks kind of like a figure 8 pattern. If you ever look up a cardioid pattern, or super cardioid, it'll tell you kind of what the pickup pattern is of your microphone. But basically, you don't want to be talking at where it's picking up at. You want to be talking across where it's picking up at. That's why in the booth, the mic's pointed down and I'm talking across and not into the microphone, if that makes sense. I know you're thinking it, so I just did it for you. So anyways, off of the microphone talk. So we did one little restoration there, and then I'm going to amplify everything and make it just a little bit louder up to kind of this -1 dB line. And when you amplify the sound that's there, you're also amplifying the noise that's there. So that's why I like to do one pass first. And then I'll go through, I'll do maybe one more pass of voice denoise. Even though the booth's pretty quiet, there's not really a lot of noise in there. Not a lot of hiss. The iPad doesn't have a fan really in it, so you're not going to hear like that fan noise, which is why I like the iPad. Although not having a laptop in there is kind of, I don't know, maybe I just need to upgrade the iPad. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating sometimes because I don't know if you saw when I was in the booth trying to drag it back and it keeps snapping, and it's aggravating to say the least. I want to throw the thing, and if people weren't watching me, I'd probably have a lot more colorful words for it. And then I just run a really quick mouth declick on it, and that will take out any of the, not that I really do it a lot unless I'm like really dry mouthed, but sometimes the microphone can pick up like mouth clicky noises, right? This will remove those. What's really gross is you can isolate this plugin and tell it just play back the noises that you're going to remove. So when you play it, all you hear is, it makes you want to hurl. It's pretty gross. But highly recommend it. At least once. Or if you've had, poisonous mushrooms and you need, have any ipecac around and you need to just, do that real quick. It'll work. And then I run a real quick DS pass, and that just takes off some of the sibilance off the top end. So if there's a lot of like and it'll kind of cut some of that. Is it necessary? Nah. Could you use it a little bit more focused if you had a particular part of the file that was more sibilant? Yes. And overall, probably how you want to use it in longer form stuff, but it doesn't hurt it from my experimenting with it, and makes it, just takes that extra little edge of harshness potentially off. Now, will your editor probably do this? Probably. But like I said, I like giving him good sounding stuff. So, unless Carl sees this and goes, fucking stop, and then I'm just going to keep doing it, right? So let's zoom in, let's edit this a little bit, and we'll go from there. So up front, let's listen to the hiss. Like, it's pretty quiet. Not bad, huh? And that's they called him pretty darn silent, right? Okay, so what I'm basically going to do is go through like I've done before. Just going to tune these down just a little bit. If something's like in between or it sounds harsh, You can go up and customize your keys in Audition and really any program. I assigned Alt S to silence, and that just brings it to 0 on the track. So it's just going to silence it completely. I'm not going to do that for every one because, like I said, as I say ad nauseum, right? Don't remove every single one, but I'm going to remove some of them, and then just kind of down the rest of them, just so they're not harsh, right? Just, you know, could I noise gate it? Because I know that's probably a question that could come up. Because it's something that I've tried where you noise gate, right? So on the stream, the audio probably sounds just a little bit different. Like when I get a little too quiet, sometimes I've noticed the video cuts out the audio. It's because I have a noise gate on, right? So a noise gate, the way that'll work is if there's sound up to a certain point, it just won't play it, right? So from, you know, quiet getting louder up to this point, it's not going to pick that up. It's just going to shut it off. As soon as the sound gets louder than that, it'll resume, right? So that's in case you have like a nice or a buzz in the background or something, or like a low hum. It'll kind of cut it out when you're not talking. Like right now, the noise gate kind of turned on and it just cuts all audio. Just goes to 0. So it doesn't go to like 1 or 2, you know, or like 70 or 75. It just goes completely 0. Infinite on the spectrum, right? And then as I talk, if there is that noise in the background, here's the difference. It's still going to pick it up while you're talking because now the noise is louder than the gate. So it's not going to help you with background noise at all. Could it help with breaths? Yes, to a certain extent, but you really have to fine tune it. And if you get quiet, just a little too quiet at the end of a word, it'll also cut that off, which is why I don't use it. I've had more audio destroyed using noise gates that way than I've saved breath sounds, right? And I want some of them in there, like I say ad nauseum, right? So I choose to do it this way. Does it take longer? Absolutely. Is it more painful? Absolutely. Does it end up with a better product? I think so, absolutely. But, you know, you use your ears to judge, right? So as we go through, we've gone up to about 30 seconds there.
They called
Just
him
take a listen.
Swift Bear. His own people turned their back on him, account of his being some sort of freak of nature.
Right there. Could I have left it in? Absolutely. But does it need to be there? No.
Faster than any horse born and the strongest sumbitch I ever seen. Prone to vision.
So there's a little bit of space there and a breath. So I'm going to, you can do one of two things. You can bring it in like this, right? And then we can just reduce this a little bit so that when the cut back to isn't really long and awkward.
Which I ever seen. Prone to visions of his heathen bear god.
Right? Or you can cut it out altogether, up to you. I'm just going to cut out a little bit more.
I ever seen. Prone to visions of his heathen bear god.
Tighter.
Putting him on track of unnatural abominations, meaning nothing but harm. Absolutely. I'm Mark Laxon. Previous no good cur.
I'm going to take out that breathy breath. Some of them get to, I don't know how to describe the right term, but tonguey. Like, I don't know why I do that. I guess I don't know. I guess the words make me hungry. I have no idea, but I like lick the air for some reason, or that's what it sounds like. So I hate those and I cut them.
Mark Laxon. Previous,
I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit.
Mark Laxon.
He likes to tight.
Previous, no good cur, but seeking redemption. I'd partnered with Swift Bear to roam the land and hunt creatures from Satan's own asshole. This here story's from our early association. We'd already killed us a couple of bad bastards, but nothing could have prepared us for this.
So I'm going to demonstrate kind of Isotope's power in plosives. The other thing that you can use to get rid of plosives, I don't know if I covered it, is technique. Instead of saying powerful, you can say powerful. So I minimize that P. You can do the same thing with B's or anything very plosive. Is you work on that technique, and the way that you can develop that is by using like a pencil or pen or just a flat object. I'll use these and put them up against your lips. Right? Now, say your P and your B, it kind of focuses your lips on not being very powerful and taking out a lot of the bass in there and the push of air, if that makes sense, right? one way to do it, you look absolutely ridiculous. But let's face it, when you're recording, you look absolutely ridiculous anyway, so nobody's watching you. Except for you're watching me now. But that's fine, because we're in this together. Or something.
Nothing could have prepared us for this. A vision told Bear to head north, so north we headed.
All right, we did a comp there, you can tell, because there's a little bit of space. So we're going to just tighten that up.
So north we headed. North. So north we headed.
We'll make it a little bit tighter, maybe.
Vision told Bear to head north, so north we headed. Into the cold in our usual style, Bear running and me riding my mighty stallion, Thunder. After 3 days of hard riding in silence, I was close to losing my mind. So I started regaling him with some of my more interesting anecdotes.
Interesting they were, weren't they? All right, we're going to take out a little bit of space here. We're going to take this breath down a little bit.
Interesting anecdotes. Before I started killing monsters and...
Actually, I'm going to take that out completely. And I'm going to just copy the silence, paste it in, because this is a paragraph. So if we go back to our text, and we look, there's space in between it that we need just a little bit more of. At least half a second in, or a second in there, right?
My more interesting anecdotes. Before I started killing monsters and devils and such, strangest I ever threw down with was Dandy Joe, I yelled. Some asshole prone to taking liberties at cards. One time, I called him out for cheating, and meek as he was, expecting I'm to fold like clothes, but the sumbitch stood, put his hand down.
Gave him the old turd pistol. Great story, Laxon. Great story to regale us with. He's something else. I don't know. What's your favorite character so far in the story? Bear or Laxon or the monster? I like the monster. But Laxon's okay. Laxon's okay. He grows on you. Like a tumor. But he grows on you. Don't really want to get rid of him, you know? All right. So let's take a listen to this, and then I just know I hate old Danny Joe. That's, well, you know, hey, we all do, right?
Looked me in the eyes and forced out a turd. Bear stopped running, so I halted Thunder. Then he done pointed that turd at me and told me to make my move.
All right. We'll cut it there. I won't make you sit through the whole rest of this editing thing, because that'll be painful, right? And pretty non-interesting. So let's switch over to the face cam. All right. So schedules and stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, like I think I've said a couple of times, make sure you check out the author's stuff, Mr. Richard Reynolds. I keep forgetting his last name, Mr. Richard Reynolds. And if you're in the UK, check out some of his comic works at groundzerocomics.co.uk dash our own books, with hyphens in between that. Really good stuff. I tried to purchase one, but Mr. Richard doesn't want to sell to the United States. Something about it being so expensive, but I'm just teasing you. But you know, if you ever do sell them in the United States, let me know. But anyways, they look cool. So if you're in the UK, yay, you could buy them there. And support him. You should. He has a lot of really cool stuff. I really want to buy some of his comics because they look really good. And you should check them out. Like I said, this will be up on theotherstories.net whenever it does air. I'll let you know. In terms of schedule and how we're going to do it, I covered a little bit earlier, but I'm going to be doing kind of a 2-stream on, 2 days off, 3 streams on, 3 streams off, if I have the material to do so. And like I said, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll pick up, maybe I'll show you the whole process where we go out, we find an audition for an audio drama, we audition for it live, we edit it all up, we turn it in, and then if we get the part, we'll do that in another episode where we actually do the part that we got, right? That we auditioned together for. And you can see the whole process from kind of start to end. Then we'll take a listen to the darn finished product, and maybe it'll be cool, right? I will have an announcement coming up here in January-ish that I'm super excited about, cliffhanging you there. And then maybe well, it's a project I'm working on, and I'll probably spill the beans a little early on it, but I'll let you know. And it does include voice acting, and audio dramas, and space, and cool shit, as it were. So thank you for joining me today. If you did, thanks, Father Zog, for stopping by. And if you guys have tuned in later on the YouTubes, as it were, and you see this video later and you want to drop a comment, or if you have some questions about the story or the other stories or the author or voice acting in general, hit me up, let me know. I'd love to answer your questions, at least as well as I can, right? Been doing this streaming thing for only, a few weeks, but I've been voice acting since about 2015, so I can answer most questions. And most of the answers are, don't do what I did, because I learned the hard way. And together, we'll learn faster together, right? But anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks again, everybody that's watching now and everybody that will watch later. We'll talk to you guys next time. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye. See you later. Finding the button on the stream deck. I'm still getting used to this thing. I don't know what to do. What do I do? What do I do? I found it. Found it. I found it. That button makes it get louder. Did you hear that? It got a little louder. Have a good night. Father Zog, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. And you better start streaming, man. Want to see your bright cheering face up there. Wrecking some fools in Tarkov. As you do. It got really loud, so I have to compensate. This week, good. I want to see it. 10p Central Time. Tune into Father Zog there. We need somebody to do the thing with where we, give it to them with my 2 viewers, right? We got to do that. That's the thing that we do. Rating. That's what it's called. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. We should be Centurion since he's a follower. Let's do the raid thing, right? All right. Okay. I'm not great at this. Raid. And then we do that name. Why did you put numbers in your name? All right. Here we go. Thanks. Bye. See you there.